Today. Are you tired of living with stained and worn-out carpeting? Does the den look like bears spent the winter with you? Spring is here, and so is Empire Today's half off your project sale, starting now, but only for a limited time. Save 50% on a huge selection of carpet, hardwood, and laminate, standard padding and materials, and basic installation. Call the Empire Today half off your project sale hotline now.
1-855-385-0681.
Empire Today's free in-home estimates are easy and smart. Choose from high-quality flooring in the rooms where you'll use them, with your lighting, so you can see the color best. We'll do the measuring. You do the selecting and saving. But first, you must do the calling. Everyone loves the half off your project sale. Even bears. Call the Empire Today special hotline
1-855-385-0681. 1-855-385-0681.
Empire Today. Select styles. Details at EmpireToday.com.
The wait is finally over. Baseball season is here at last, and the excitement continues all season long at DraftKings.com, the official daily fantasy partner of Major League Baseball. Daily fantasy means no season-long commitments, just instant cash, instant gratification. Why wait until the end of the season to claim victory when you can win huge cash every day? At DraftKings, it's like a brand new season every time you play. Just select 2 pitchers and 8 position players, stay under the salary cap, and you could be on your way to an enormous payday. Last year, Peter from Colorado won $1 million at DraftKings in one day, just playing fantasy baseball. Hundreds of thousands of fantasy sports fans just like you have already cashed in at DraftKings. Now it's your turn. Hurry to DraftKings.com now and enter promo code SPREAKER to play for free. You can win part of $300 million in prizes being awarded this season. Use promo code SPREAKER for free entry now at DraftKings.com. DraftKings.com. That's DraftKings.com.
Well, it's 1 minute past the hour, and I guess I've finally returned to New York. Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is Ted Hicks, the real Ted Hicks, not the fake one, not the fake / real Ted Hicks. This is the one and only. Glad to be back. Late night parents. We're here once again. Star-studded cast tonight. Really excited. It's 2 minutes past the hour. Real quick, ways to get in contact with us. Through Twitter, you can find us at Late Night Parent. You can find myself at Real Ted Hicks. You can find us on Facebook at facebook.com/Late Night Parent. Or you can go to our portal. It's the multi-site, latenightparents.com. So, really excited to be back in New York. It's been it's been a crazy 13 crazy days. I went from New York to Atlanta to New Orleans, back to New York. Met a lot of exciting people. We will get to some of them tonight. Finally got to meet up with my buddies Lee and Todd in Atlanta. Real exciting times. Like I said, tonight's going to be a little bit different. It's going to be a 2-hour show tonight, but we're going to break it up, hour 1, hour 2. So let me get this straight. For our radio partners, I want to thank all of our radio partners. Most importantly, Life Improvement Radio in Sarasota, Florida. Our good folks, friends, UNIR1 Radio in Albany, New York. I-95 Sports Radio, Of course, going down I-95, there's shows all over the place. Big Bobby Blackjack. Especially want to thank our buddy from NGSC Sports, Ralph Garcia, hailing out of Tennessee. I'm not sure which part, but I know I'm going to be in Nashville next year for the All-Star game. So, but since we're speaking of Nashville, we had a star that was on the TV show Nashville, but hang on, folks. I'll be right back with her. We are also powered on iHeartRadio through the NGSC app and brand. We are on iHeartRadio. Want to thank all of our good friends, FSC Radio in Philadelphia. Want to thank those good folks out there. The 405 Radio out in West Coast. Want to thank those friends out there. The various apps. You can catch us on Spreaker, as I mentioned, Podomatic, iTunes. Not so much with Stitcher. But you can catch us on Blog Talk Radio because we're here at the home of the Happy Hour Network. Once again, I want to say thank you to Mr. Val, Mr. Vanderberg, for all that you guys do for me. Really appreciate you. Tonight, really quick rundown. Hour number one, because some of our radio partners that will be named, we'll you know what? I'm not going to name anyone. I'm not dropping any names tonight. But for our radio partners, some of you guys are wonderful. You take the 2-hour format. Some of you folks want me to break it down into the 60-minute format. So it will be one show called Relevance, but we'll have parts 1 and 2. So 5 minutes past the hour, and I'm already late because she's got a lot on her plate. Ms. Rosalyn Ross, our digital media mogul, will be on with us. 30 minutes past the hour, Dr. Erica Kosal is going to talk to us about, she's going to discuss the epidemic of adolescent stress and obesity. 45 minutes past the hour of hour one, Chris Wassell is going to join us to talk about the NHL Playoffs and whether or not my New York Islanders have a chance to win the Stanley Cup. Wouldn't it be bittersweet? The stadium's closing, everyone's up in arms in Long Island, everyone's going crazy, pointing fingers at each other. If these guys can leave Long Island with a Stanley Cup, whew, in your face, guys. Should have voted for that referendum. In hour two, we're going to have our special guest, 5 minutes past the hour, Christine Connelly. She's an author, CPA, director of Bagley, our nation's oldest and largest youth-led LGBT organization. Ms. Christine Connelly is both a transgender parent and daughter. And guess what? She's going to share some tips with us for people that have transgender loved ones. Make sure to catch that discussion. 35 minutes past the hour in hour two, we're going to have our CPA, Chris Whalen, back with us. Because guess what? We didn't have a show last week. It was April 15th. You missed the tax deadline, and you don't know what to do. Guess what? We're going to hook you up. Late Night Parents is going to take care of you. Chris Whalen, CPA, is going to be here 35 minutes past the hour in hour number two to tell you what you need to do now that you've missed the tax date. What if the government owes you money? What if you owe the government money? The worst thing to do is not do anything at all. And our last guest of the night will be none other at 45 minutes past the hour in hour two, Mr. Lee Val and Todd Vandenberg, who I like to call Mr. Wonderful. We're going to talk a little baseball, beer, and barbecue and discuss our visit to Turner Field. It wasn't a successful one because the Mets didn't win, but that's a whole nother story. So without further ado, she's, for the network's behalf, I've been chasing Miss Rosalyn Ross down. I can't tell you how long. Emailing, texting, darn near ready to call her husband and say, hey, we got to get her on the network. But only through, I tell you, through God's grace, she's been doing a lot of work with one of our counterparts on the network, the Earnestly Speaking radio show. So you can catch her sometimes Fridays around 4 to 6. I say sometimes because she's real busy. We're going to bring Rosalyn on now. Rosalyn, how you doing?
I'm well. How are you?
Doing well. I was on my rant. I'm sorry I held you up. I know you are in demand, Roz. Roz, you're in demand. And I didn't know. I want to start off this conversation by saying I apologize. I did not know.
Just stop it. Listen, I am jealous of this trip you just went on. Goodness. Two of my favorite places, Atlanta and New Orleans, and you already live in one of my absolute favorite places in the whole entire world. But I'm really jealous of that little East Coast. Well, I guess you got over to New Orleans. That little swing you had there. I'm really jealous of that.
That's compliments of baseball, beer, and barbecue in Atlanta, and compliments of Lucian, which is my current daytime employer, not for long.
Nice.
But
nice.
Hopefully,
Very nice.
Hopefully my bosses aren't listening, because if they are, I'm like, boom, 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 boom.
They know you're just joking for the audience.
Oh my goodness! I got to see beautiful New Orleans. Went down there for a tech conference, but I got to tell you, I did not know, but now I do, because here I am hounding you to join our little itsy-bitsy network, and then I said, wait a minute. I just did a Google search on Rosalyn Ross, and Nashville comes up, articles on foxsports.com, all these other FS Journal. I'm like, what? Wait. I mean, oh, my goodness.
Oh, stop it. You know what? I'm really thankful to be busy. I'm really, really thankful to have so many opportunities to, express my art. So, and this is one of them. So I'm always happy to be able to come on the show with you.
Oh, my goodness. Roz, as always, I think we only started back in September, but I think you've been on about 3 times. And I think each of those times you left us with something special. So
good.
Before we even get started, with today being Earth Day, the question that I have for all the guests, and I'm going to get it right out the way because you're not going to be able to slide on out of here without answering the question. With it being Earth Day, tell me, what are you and hubby doing to make the environment better?
Oh, wow. Well, we recycle, and we actually, which probably isn't, well, I guess it is. I mean, we actually just yesterday were discussing plans of making our own little garden. And, in the big picture, that has some lasting effect on the environment and on our community. There's so much going on with people talking about planting urban gardens, and, we live in Memphis, but, contrary to all of the listeners who may think that Tennessee is all backwoods, it's not. It's definitely an urban environment, and we live, we're not suburbanites. We live inside the city, and, we really would like to see if we could get something like that working, starting in our own backyard, but, maybe working with some of our neighbors to pull that through as well. I think it's really important.
It's stuff like this that I'm talking about that you always leave us with something a little bit extra. I don't even know if we're going to get to talk about basketball tonight. I guess we will, but we got to let's get through the business side of it. I've told you personally how proud I am of you, of all that you're doing from online media, print media, on the radio. But I think on my cloud DVR, I for the first time ever, I watched a TV show called Nashville.
Yeah.
And I got to lead in with this. So a lot of times I get radio segments kind of thrown at me haphazardly, and someone one day wanted for me to talk about the NBA, and I was going to go get a physical because that's what us men should do at least once a year, and when you get over 40, there's a few other things you got to do, but we'll get into that later. And I think I text you and I said, Roz, can you do this radio segment for me in San Diego? And you was like,